nevertheless. It cannot be used effectively to initiate, as initiation is the function of being, then thought. Know all this and you will stop thrashing about in the pool. Always do an excellent job. Always focus on the task and produce excellent value from it. Do this no matter how small the action seems. Even the smallest action has a potentiality to be the cause of the greatest next opportunity for you. In this universe, absolutely everything is a cause for another thing and is caused by something else. Even your smallest action may cause a previously unrevealed big thing that you need. Even an action as small as a smile and good service can cause the opening of a relationship and doors that you never thought possible. Ideas are worthless without action. Action makes it possible to receive what is coming your way from your intentions. Intention initiates creation of wealth. Action enables reception of it. Take action. Even the smallest action may be what is needed to move you on to great wealth. Everything counts. Every act counts. Every act defines your next world. The universe is one huge chain reaction. Do not try to do anything, just do it, or do not, but do not ever try to do it. Either you set out to do it, or you do not do it, but never set out to try to do it. If you try to do something, the universe will try to give you a result. But if you just do something with a resolve that it will be done, not it may work out, but it will work out, the universe will honor that resolve and give you back with its own resolve. You already know how to do the things that you're not doing. If you were making $100,000 a year, you know how to take that to $1 million. If you sat and thought it through, you would realize that you have some plans, some clues, that can get you there, or at least get you started on that path and that higher income level. In other words, you cannot possibly say truthfully, I do not know what the first thing is that I should do to increase my income. It is not possible. You have a clue of at least the first step, however small it may be, and that is all you need to start, and the rest will reveal itself to you as you move on. But if you are not doing it, if you are not acting on that first clue or step, you won't get step 2. Bridge the gap now by doing what you know now. Start now. Just do it. The next step will become clearer and available after you take the first. If you are not in a perfect business, do not wait until you are. Start now in the one you are in and move gradually to the one you wish to have. This is the same with location, knowledge, etc. Start now. Do not wait until things are perfect before you act. Stop reacting and start creating. As if. Act as if you are already the person you want to be. Act as if it is impossible not to get where you wish to go. Opportunities increase as they are taken. Sun Tzu. Take advantage of the opportunity most available to you now, and it will open up previously hidden paths to more opportunities. By law of cause and effect, your taking advantage of the closest opportunity to you will cause the unfolding of many more opportunities previously unavailable to you. All other things held constant, to the extent that an individual or society has positive and grand actions in the right way, so will they have wealth and happiness. As you can see, acting is not difficult. In fact, it is the easiest part of creation. In the past, it has been overemphasized, but as you can see, it is the last step of a very big system. This alone, the ignoring of the previous steps to acting, can explain a lot about why many people are not as wealthy and happy as they wish to be. Now you know. But always remember that acting is very important in the chain of events, even if it is not the leader of the chain. Do not now ignore it. The way to wealth and happiness is the way of perfect balance. Balance your body, mind, and soul. Balance the time and emphasis you give to being, thinking, speaking, and acting. Don't just act all day long and do little structured thinking and visualization, for example. Nor should you spend all your time on spiritual nutrition and ignore acting and everything else. That would not only be selfish, but it would also fail to complete the cycle of creation. Now that you have the full set of creation tools with you, let us look at the fuel that makes them work. The tools of creation are just that, tools. They need one last ingredient to work, an ingredient so powerful that no other force can equal it. Certainty. the most powerful force and the antidote to failure. Certainty, faith, belief is a necessary part of creating wealth or anything else for that matter. It is that which gives the universe a go-ahead to do as you wish it to do. You see, you cannot become a state without certainty, for such becoming is unbecoming. You cannot be happy if you are unsure that you are happy. You also cannot create goals without certainty, not only in their accuracy but also in their coming to reality for you. Even speaking and acting without certainty is powerless. Many teachers in many religions and ages have taught us to have faith, to be certain. This isn't new, but now you will see why they have always taught this and see how to create and expand your faith, something that has so far been elusive to many people. But remember as you read on that faith is a lot like state, being. You cannot really speak faith, not do faith. You can only be faithful, be certain. And the way to do that is to simply decide to be certain, just like that, and let no other contradiction come to you. Anyway, let us proceed, and this will get easier and clearer. The last part of getting faith is to understand how the universe works. In the chapters on quantum physics, time, and cause and effect, you will see how the universe works, and this will give you faith, for you now know exactly what happens behind the scenes. Once you understand how it all works, you will believe. Everything is possible to the extent that you are certain. To the extent that you have faith and clarity of thought, things are possible or impossible. But in reality, nothing is impossible. Believe. Actually, be certain. Persistence breeds faith. You can use persistence to increase your faith. And through faith, you have persistence. By persisting, even when it looks like you should give up, you can increase your faith in an outcome and bring it about. This is a conscious decision you make because faith enables persistence. It is a tight circle. You cannot achieve much if you are persistent, but you keep telling yourself things are not going to work out. Persistence is a slight step ahead of faith in that you can use it to build faith, but every step that persistence takes has to be followed by a step in faith. Persistence literally pays. Nothing is truly impossible. Remove all thoughts of doubt and fear. Never entertain them even for a moment. Be mindful, watchful, and aware of your thoughts by simply deciding to be so. Whenever you catch yourself doubting or fearing, stop those thoughts in their tracks. Do not let them progress. Do not encourage them, but do not resist them. Instead, watch them mindfully, detached, like an uninvolved watcher. See what they are, where they come from, why they come to you, and how long they last. By observing them in this way, you will be able to get behind them, get to their cause, their dark origins, and bring light to them, eventually eliminating them. Doubt and fear are the only enemies of your dreams and visions. Certainty. Even in the face of contrary evidence, be certain, believe, have faith. If you can, everything is possible for him who believes, Jesus Christ. Confidence, certainty. Believe it all the way unquestionably. In God's world, certainty is the only thing that'll do. This is the stuff of miracles. This force moves mountains. Doubt, confusion, fear, and worry partly have their roots in a person not knowing exactly what he or she wishes to be and have. The opportunities and abilities that you have right now, right here, are enormous and incalculable. In other words, you cannot run out. Your belief is your only real limit. As you believe, so shall it be done unto you. In the real sense, it is not that God rewards those with faith. What happens is that the universe moves the universe's building blocks around, quantum particles, depending on the information it receives and the certainty of that information. It is as scientific as it is spiritual. Fear is false evidence appearing real. In reality, there is absolutely nothing to be afraid of, for yourself has it all and is indestructible. Yourself is designed to never lack anything, for it has it all already. It is also indestructible. But its manifestation here on earth comes with many illusions, and one of your purposes here is to overcome these illusions. One of those illusions is the illusion that abundance does not exist. Yet we know scientifically nowadays, thanks to quantum physics, and spiritually as we have been advised by teachers throughout the ages, that abundance is all there is. If you ever catch yourself fearing something, know that it is an illusion, and seek to find out what that illusion is, for in reality, there is nothing to fear at all. Being broke is temporary, and it carries with it some immense lessons and opportunities for positive change. Do not fear going broke. It is not necessary to go broke, but if you find yourself broke, do not worry about it. Look for the lessons and opportunities in it. Fear of going broke is a terrible disease. It takes away the opportunities for growth. It prevents people from trying new things, and it keeps them worried. Fear also attracts that which is feared, and the fear of poverty creates poverty. Yet there is nothing to be afraid of except the fear itself. When you most feel like holding on to something, it is usually the best time to let go. Have faith. Believe. Know with certainty. When you pick up a glass of water to drink from it, you know without a shred of doubt that you will not fail to pick it up and drink. The thought does not even occur to you that you may not be able to drink the water. You do it with certainty. That is the level of faith, belief, and certainty you should have in yourself, the laws of the universe, and the capabilities of the source to work perfectly all the time. It is the certainty you should have about your having received even before you asked, and in the guarantee that you have it all. If you think you do not have something, decide now that you have it, and you will. Do not say, "But I don't have it." Do not negate. Over time it will become second nature. Until then, do your best and never think you cannot have it. Mind your mind. You can acquire faith with practice. But it is faster to just decide once and for all that you have it. How? Just decide. How much faith, belief, and certainty should you have? You should have that which is at the level of knowing. You just know it to be true, just as you know that you woke up today or that you drank that glass of water earlier. At that level, you are so clear that something is true and will happen that you continue to be certain even if something contrary appears to you in the physical world. This is the triad how-to of having whatever you like. Ask, and it shall always be given to you. Seek, and you shall always find it. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. But the triad has one catalyst that must be there for it to work. Belief, for belief makes all things possible. These are not empty promises. They are not rewards given to nice people only. It is the way the entire universe works without fail or exception. This triad and catalyst can also be written this way. Desire and intend, and you shall always have it. Quest for the truth and knowledge, and you shall always know what you seek to know. There are no real boundaries to your growth, for you are more than welcome to experience any choices you make. But you must be certain that these statements are true, for if you believe they are not true, or they are partially true, or selectively true, that is exactly what you will get. When in doubt, act your way into belief. If you are not confident, act as if you are, and that will make you confident eventually. Do this with everything you are not confident in but wish to be, and your circle of confidence will begin to grow and encompass more and more aspects of life. Persistence pays, literally. It also strengthens you and reinforces your belief. Persist, persist, but in your persistence let things happen. Let life work out. Do not worry, be detached. Not knowing what one wishes to have clearly is a major cause of doubt and disbelief. Faith is the eternal elixir which gives life, power, and action to the impulse thought. Faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. Faith is the basis of all miracles and all mysteries which cannot be analyzed by the rules of science. Faith is the only known antidote for failure. Napoleon Hill. You can think and talk yourself into faith. Right now, people who continuously worry about things are thinking and talking themselves into doubt. To create faith, repeat, repeat, and repeat positive affirmations to yourself repeatedly, every day, all day, and the subconscious will eventually believe. Fear is false evidence appearing real. It always is. It is not your natural state. The state of the source and of yourself is fearless, for there is nothing that can threaten the self and nothing that the self lacks. Whenever you fear, look at it in the eye and find the false evidence of it. There is always some. Never worry. Worry is fear, false evidence appearing real, putting images in your mind. Life is images in your mind expressed. Worry and fear puts negative images in your mind and creates that which you worry about and fear, an illusion that becomes real to you and becomes physical eventually if perpetuated. Worry is a lack of all the facts needed in a particular situation. It is also the absence or suspension of certainty. It is misdirected and wasted energy. The best way to heal fear and worry is to face it and analyze it fully, break it down into its components, and see where the false evidence lies. Become aware and keep raising your awareness in finer detail. This raises your confidence as you uncover truth, and that wipes out fear. Observe truly what works and what does not, and live the truth doing what observably works. Observe the truth, know the truth, think the truth, speak the truth, live the truth. This speeds up results and keeps fear away. You now know about the laws of the universe that never err, and you will know more about them in later chapters. You know that these laws guarantee exact results when given a detailed, clear, consistent image and intention backed by certainty and action. You know that these laws work with infinite intelligence that you cannot possibly predetermine. And you know that you should never look at the physical and allow that to determine your thoughts, because it is thoughts that create the physical. Given all this that you know, why in the world would you ever worry? Look at these statements again, slowly, in their parts. You will see that there is absolutely no reason to worry. Remember that before a problem even occurred, it was solved. Before you ask, it is given. Everything that can possibly exist already exists right now, including all your potential problems and their solutions. All you do is shift your consciousness to experience portions of it as you make choices. And the biggest lessons and opportunities for your self-evolution come through your worst times, because suffering is an indication of wrong thought. At such times, all you need to do is learn, see where the wrong thought is, and once you make the corrections, the fruits are fantastic. Why then would you worry? There is no reason at all. The universe never makes mistakes. Chaos is in our minds only. It is not a property of the universe. Again, if the universe runs on certain laws, and these laws never fail, and you get to know these laws and apply them, why would you ever worry? After all, you can predict an outcome based on your application of these laws. Worry only attracts to you what you worry about. Worry is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I tell you the truth. If anyone says to this mountain, "Go, throw yourself into the sea," and does not doubt in his heart but believes that what he says will happen, it will be done for him. Jesus Christ. Whatever you believe you can do. Whatever you wish for, believing you have it, you shall have. In other words, you are always having what you believe in truly. Think about that. You are always having what you believe truly to the extent that you believe. The rule never breaks. All other things held constant. To the extent that an individual or society has positive and grand certainty in the right way, so will they have wealth and happiness. Now you have the tools of creation and the energizing force that gives them life. Always be in a state of certainty, and refuse to be in any other state contrary to certainty, nor think any thoughts that are contrary to faith. It is now time to move on to larger workings of the universe, the fields and laws within which you shall be using your tools and certainty. The first of these is the law of cause and effect. This law is a beautiful promise that allows you to be guaranteed of effects and to figure out the causes of everything in your world. You always wish to know why things happen and how you can make things happen. The first step to knowing is studying the law of cause and effects, then seeing the truth about conditions and conditionality. Let's begin to look under the hood of what you see around you, what you experience. Cause and effect, the prime law of the universe. Here is the most important law of the universe. Here is a prime key to wealth consciousness. If you live by this, you cannot fail to get wealth. The understanding and living by the law of cause and effect guarantees that you shall not fail to cause the events you wish to experience, that you shall predict outcome and figure out the causes of your situations. Simply learn this law well and read the chapter on conditions and on success, and you will be well on your way to wealth and happiness. Wealth is created when you correctly plug your tools of creation, powered by faith, into the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect is the prime law that runs the universe. It is the number one law. Every spiritual and scientific teacher has sought to teach it. They may have said you reap what you sow, or you get what you give, or what goes around comes around, or karma, or consequences, or every action has an equal and opposite reaction, or many other similar statements. Quantum physics is now teaching us how this works, exactly, on a subatomic level, as we shall soon see in later chapters. Here's what we are now discovering. It is multiplicative. In other words, you will not only one day experience what you cause others to experience or its equivalents, but also you will do so multiplicatively. If you cause others to experience wealth and happiness, it will come back to you and you will experience it as well. But as a bonus, you will experience much more than you caused others to do so. Life is about growth. This is so for every experience imaginable. At some point in the complex of the space-time continuum, at some point in your life, by law, you experience a multiple of what you cause others to experience. Nothing escapes this law. Even if you cannot see with your limited 5 physical senses right now where it is happening, know that it happens. Use this to create massive wealth. Scientists now agree that nothing can be observed without being affected by the observer. In fact, they have concluded that even their experiments must be done in a double-blind fashion to get anywhere close to accuracy, because the expectation of the scientists affects the outcome of the experiment. Even this cannot create an independent experiment. The thing being observed is created and recreated by the observer. Scientific evidence, especially in quantum physics, shows that you are at cause for all that you see in your world. Cause others to experience wealth massively. Increase their wealth consciousness massively, and you will experience wealth massively. Look at life today. Any business that deals with the increasing of people's productivity and connectivity always becomes a very big self-sustaining business. It may not be a perfectly good business, but it is big and self-sustaining. Software, networks, transport, electronics, and such businesses improve people's productivity and standard of living, and in return, they grow. But that is only a scratch on the surface. Even more magnificence will come our way when we start building businesses that deliberately are designed to give rather than receive. Businesses designed to cause first that other people get wealthy. Future businesses will be designed to cause growth that is true growth and not growth with serious side effects somewhere else. These businesses will cause elevation of populations from a lower standard of living to a higher one, and elevations in their consciousness and well-being. The more you cause others to have in wealth, the more you will have in wealth effortlessly. Whatever you wish to get, give it away first. This is the fastest path. Whatever you wish to have, cause another to have it first. What you reap, you will sow. Karma, the law of cause and effect. This law never fails, and eventually you always harvest what you sow. It is in your best interest to sow good seeds. Do not be unjust to anyone unless you wish to have injustice turn back to you one day. Hate, covetousness, greed, anger, negative thoughts and actions cause the negative conditions and suffering needed to cause a correction in that negative thought. Remember always that the entire universal system is one. One, even though it appears separate. You will see this to be true as you read this book. What you do unto others is what you literally end up doing to yourself. By knowing the cause and effect power of thought, you can accurately predict the future by looking at the thought of now. Fortunately, we have the power to change thoughts and alter the future. Cause and effect. Karma. You reap what you sow. We have been given this message from various sources over the years, and it is true. It works without fail, and ignoring this law is the cause of much of our suffering and poverty. It is so simple. Simply be deliberate and thoughtful about what you are being, doing, thinking, or saying. Know that everything is a cause that has an effect. Then ask yourself, this thing that I am being, thinking, saying, or doing, what is its probable effect? The answer to that question is what you will reap back later. So if you cause another to suffer, it will return to you at some point in life. Ignoring this law has caused much suffering for the human race. Following this law has caused much prosperity as well. There is no mysterious external force that causes you random and wanton suffering. There is no such thing as bad luck. It is all within you individually and within the collective selves of the family, company, community, country, and world that you are in. Every single state of being, thought, word, and action was caused by something before it and will cause something after it. It is waking up to this fact and asking yourself, what caused that thought I just had? Or what will be the effect of this thought I am having that enables you to fine-tune yourself and align yourself with the universe? It is the path to experiencing wealth and abundance. Things get better when you get better. They get worse when you get worse. The world is all within you. You are at cause over everything that happens in your life, whether you were conscious of it or not. If you are at cause for everything in your world, and so is everyone else for their world, it means that groups of people are collectively at cause for their collective world. Corporate success and failure, neighborhood events, even wars and natural disasters all happen not because of only one person in the group, but because of all the people collectively causing that which they are collectively affected by. This brings us to your businesses. You will get fastest results if the people you work with and associate with are people of wealth consciousness, which means you should offer to help all those around you to improve their wealth consciousness. Remember also that one very powerful way of getting something is to cause another to get it. Couple both of these and you will see how widely beneficial it is to you to ensure that your employees, business partners, family, and even community and country and world, if they are interested, have access to educational materials that allows them to build wealth consciousness in themselves. Imagine you are on an island with just one other person, working together for a whole year. Imagine that you are very friendly with each other and that you talk and share books and food your relatives send to you. What would happen if you were to slap that person? That person will either slap you back, find another way to harm you, stop sharing their books and food with you, or they will just have a less friendly heart towards you, even if they do not retaliate otherwise. Even if the other person does not revenge, some tension will be built which will cut short the freedom and companionship you had. This simple experiment shows you that it is impossible for you to harm someone without getting it back on you in some form or another. You harm someone and eventually you will get hurt yourself. In other words, if you can observe this to be so, why then would you wish to harm someone? More appropriately, why would you wish to harm yourself? For when you harm someone, you harm yourself. Now, if you are working hard in your business, why would you wish to undo that work by harming others in and through your business, whether it is your customers, employees, suppliers, the society, or the environment? And following on what we shall soon see about collective consciousness and the results of it in later parts of this book, why would you wish to be passive when people are harming others in business? You know you will be affected eventually in a negative way when you allow a large corporation and your government to do business oppressively and damagingly. So why would you let that happen while you sit on the sidelines waiting for your negative share of the returns? To the extent that you allow other people's choices and consciousness to override your own, you will share in their consequences. To the extent that you determine and make your own choices about everything, you will enjoy your own consequences. Wealth follows these rules, as does everything else. I don't care does not exclude you. Ask the people who were alive during World War II. If people had not said, I don't care, it's not my problem, from the very beginning, Hitler never would have gotten as far as he did, and those people would never have had to suffer those bombings and the economic downturn caused by the war. To exist, Hitler needed the world's collective consciousness of, I don't care, I am separate. If you really care about getting wealthy and staying wealthy, you had better start caring about the world. It is for your own sake. Commerce that is not built on true mutual benefit leads to imbalance, lack of peace, and eventually war. Whether you are a person, a corporation, or a nation, if you are making super profits at the expense of the person you are doing business with, you will eventually, somehow, someday, end up harming yourself just as you have harmed your trading partner. That is evident in the world and predictable by the law of cause and effect. Peace is the biggest boost to prosperity, and it is in your own interest, for your own prosperity, to promote peace. One way to do that is to deal fairly in your own business, and to seek to correct unfair trade around the world whenever you can. To the extent that you have peace, you will have prosperity. In other words, whatever level of prosperity you are in today, you would be more prosperous if you had more peace. This is true even to those in the arms business, as ridiculous as that may sound. For example, the military industry and machinery around the world is one of the world's biggest consumers of national budgets. Every second and minute, millions of dollars are spent around the world on military expenditure. Yet this is unnecessary if there was peace. Military expenditure does not circulate around an economy as most other expenditures do. It is largely dead money. Look at all the expensive nuclear arms being destroyed now. Those millions of dollars spent every minute could instead be spent on other activities that are actually productive and circulate in the economy. Even if they were spent on guaranteeing the survival and equal opportunity of the poor and disadvantaged around the world, to give them a chance to build businesses instead of spending their whole day working just for a loaf of bread, the entire world would become prosperous. It would be many times more prosperous. Imagine if the billions of people under poverty would become productive citizens with purchasing power. Wouldn't your business benefit? And this is possible if the military spending was directed instead to this cause. And those who benefit now from the arms trade would instead be in a different business in a world that is dozens of times more prosperous than this one. Peace is prosperity while war is not. If you want living proof, look at the United States. Even the United States used to fight within itself until it united into one nation and stopped wars between its own states. Now it is prosperous, and prosperous it is largely because of its internal peace, cooperation, and free trade under almost equal legal protection for all within its borders. The European Union is realizing that as well and seeking to do the same. So are many other initiatives around the world, in Asia, Latin America, the Middle East, Africa, all over, but in different extents and rates. So in your own dealings, promote peace through fair trade, even when you have the opportunity to be unfair. And in the events of your community, country, and world, see what you can do to promote fair trade and peace. It is for your own prosperity. Nothing in your world is real. Nothing you see is real. It is an illusion created for your benefit so that you may experience your thoughts and state of being firsthand and purify them, make them better. That is why suffering is said to be an indicator of wrong thought. Beingness, thoughts, words, and actions create it. Change your mind and you change your world. Change yourself and you change your world. Here is a shortcut to solving problems, including financial ones. Whenever you are faced with a confusing, unclear, or problematic situation, look at it and say, I am that. And truly accept it, for you caused it, and separation is an illusion. Then ask yourself, why am I that? All confusion and fear will disappear, and solutions will automatically start to appear in the face of your I am that awareness. This applies to any situation, actually not just to a problem. Have you ever noticed how life works like a large, complicated mirror? What you do to others, you do to yourself. If you wish to be happy, make others happy. If you wish to be free, make others free. Use this principle in your business and you will be able to choose what you get back. The interlinkages between all life and the system of cause and effect are extremely complex, efficient, effective, and transforming. An apparently extremely small cause could have a huge effect in the future, or in the past or present. Physicists have a beautiful way of explaining this simply. They call it the butterfly effect. James Gleick, in his book Chaos, explains the butterfly effect as the notion that a butterfly stirring in the air today in Peking can transform storm systems next month in New York. And that is just a simple example. Everything is a cause that has an effect, and everything is an effect that had a cause. A huge chain reaction that is not bound by time, space, and form. In the case of wealth, the effect is either wealth or poverty. Be aware of your thoughts and their provable effects. Is a particular thought likely to lead to wealth or poverty? There are no such things as idle thoughts, words, actions, or states of being. Do not feel guilty. Forgive yourself for past failures and choose to act correctly next time. But avoid guilt, as it is one of the biggest destroyers of focus and confidence. Do not dwell on the past. Forgive others also. You're not doing them a favor when you forgive them. You are doing yourself the favor. They will still have their cause and effect, karmic, debt, for all their actions, whether you forgive them or not. But when you forgive them, you release yourself from a negative karmic cycle and release your energy for other positive things as well. What is found in the effect is already in the cause. Try to understand this intimately, then live deliberately. Here's another interesting thing about cause and effect in regards to wealth. Why do you suppose people get inspiration to start a particular business or career or passion or hobby? Yes, they are at cause individually for their desires, but there is something else as well. The collective consciousness of this planet and universe also has a hand in causing this inspiration. Remember, life always manifests images of the mind and grants every sincere and certain desire without fail. And the mind field is one. Your mind and all the minds make up the unified mind field. So the reason you have an idea is partly that others have caused it. That is how demand and supply works behind the scenes. If 1 million more people suddenly desire and believe they can have a certain type of fashion accessory, for example, an appropriate person with the appropriate level of desire and belief to go into the fashion business will have inspiration to create this fashion accessory and sell it to these people, and hence, all desires and beliefs will be fulfilled. The reason you have an idea is partly that others have caused it. When you visualize something you wish to have, someone is visualizing the same thing as something that they wish to give or sell. So the next time you have an inspiration, rejoice knowing that a group of people, small or large, is actively asking you and waiting on you to fulfill their desires. In other words, somewhere around the world, people are praying very hard for just the thing you are inspired to do. You are the answers to their prayers, and they are the answer to yours. Everybody is an answer to a prayer. We are all gifts and miracles to each other, even though we may not immediately see how that is so. There is nothing to worry about except for worry itself. You succeed. That is all you ever do. An easy way to understand that everyone is a gift and that we are all responsible as one unified mind is to think of Hitler. How could Hitler have been a gift to us? First, realize that he never would have come to power without the acceptance of the world as a whole. The world created the conditions necessary for him to rise. And as he rose, the world said, "He is not our problem. We don't care what he is doing to those people over there as long as we are all right." This separatist ideology, coupled with the way our collective states of being had created a fertile state of the world for Hitler to grow and thrive, is what caused Hitler. He could not have done it alone, just one small person against the world. He needed the world's conscious and unconscious cooperation. You cannot blame Hitler as a victimizer of the world without blaming the world as a creator of victimization conditions. Hitler allowed us to experience a negative aspect of ourselves. We are now a lot less likely to go into world wars. We know it is not a good idea. We are also less likely to ignore the plight of others, to act in unconcerned separatist ways. Hitler allowed us to correct, to a certain extent, the illusion of separation. All suffering comes from the belief in illusion. The truth sets you free. Everyone around you and everything that they do is a gift to you, allowing you to know yourself and redefine yourself. You are at cause of your world. Once you understand how a person as bad as Hitler can be a gift and how a person like him is caused by the world around him or her so that the world can experience its mind and beliefs, you will understand a big secret to wealth. Once you understand that Hitler acted as a mirror of the world, a focused collection of the little bits of indifference, belief in superiority and separation in each person and the world, then, you will understand how you can be the focused collection of wealth for the world. In other words, do not be afraid to dream big, to dream of grand wealth, and to believe you can have grand wealth. The world will make it happen, and it is in fact making you have those grand dreams to the extent that you are willing to have them. You are fully supported, whichever way you choose to go. All other things held constant, to the extent that an individual or society understands and applies the laws of cause and effect in the right way, so will they have wealth and happiness. What you now have is a good introduction into the universe's prime law. As you read the remaining chapters, you will understand this law a whole lot more clearly, especially after you read the chapters on conditions, success, and quantum physics. Now that you are armed with knowledge of the law that runs the universe, let us have a look at what conditions and success truly are. You are about to enter into one of the most beautiful, forgiving, and encouraging journeys that you have ever taken. End of Disc 3. Please continue this experience by inserting Disc 4. A Happy Pocket Full of Money by David Cameron Gikandi. Read by John Wayne Myers. Disc 4. Conditions. They are fantastic illusions. I once had this rather complex dream. It was in a language that was, well, symbolic, but wordless would be the best way to describe it. It was one of those dreams one gets when they are just almost waking up, when they are half awake and half asleep. I was well aware of what was happening. An orange wall appeared in front of my eyes, and I began to pay attention. Then, in a script that looked like symbols, yet I could somehow read it during the dream, words started to appear, and they said something like, "Conditionality does not exist. It is created." And it went on for quite some discussion time. A knowing voice also read along in a vibration-like language as I watched and understood. It was about 5 sentences long, very complete and sensible knowledge. It ended in seconds, and I quickly got up and pulled out my notebook to try to write again the exact words that were spoken. But the minute I started getting frantic looking for a pen, I lost the words exactly. In any case, their composition was not linear like these sentences in this book are. Nevertheless, I of course was able to keep the understanding even though I lost the exact wording. Here, in this chapter, is the essence of it. It is a little easier to understand if you first understood the real nature of time and quantum physics. Once you fully understand time, you will also understand that it is a scientific illusion. Einstein and other brilliant scientists have shown to us how the space-time continuum really works. We now see how everything, the past, present, and future, all exists in the eternal moment of now. But being little participants within this moment, we experience a sensation of time as we pass other participants in that continuum. As we see in quantum physics, the quantum soup is quite literally all these things and options that can possibly exist, existing all at one go. In other words, everything you can possibly imagine, and more, all exists already, and it exists at this moment of now. Everything. So a wealthy you and a non-wealthy you all exist simultaneously, but you are experiencing only one of them. You are conscious, awake to, and aware of one. Okay, it is time for you to put your thinking cap on. Here we go. If everything exists all at one go right now, can you see how conditions do not exist as real properties of the universe? If all possible outcomes exist, how can there be a condition against certain outcomes existing when they already exist? Look, just a moment ago you read the last sentence. You have already read it. How then can there be a condition that you have not read it when you have already read it? It is not possible. So because everything possible, everything conceivable already exists, it is not possible for a condition of it not existing against its already existence. Your being wealthy already exists scientifically and spiritually. All you need to do is shift your awareness, your consciousness, to that part of yourself that is wealthy. There are no conditions of that part existing. Nothing can stop it from existing because it already exists, but you can create other outcomes that look like conditions. For example, another thing that exists, but you may not be experiencing it, is you being not wealthy materially. You feeling procrastination or feeling out of time, you going to the casino and getting a gambling habit, being in a poor country, having no education, and so on. All these are independent existences that are the opposite of wealthy existence. But just because they exist does not mean that the wealthy existence does not exist, or exists depending on these other existences. People make a mistake of saying, well, if I was born in a wealthy family or in a good country or with this gift or that knowledge, or if I went to college or had that thing happen to me, I would be wealthy. They assume that wealth has a condition. Yet what they call a condition is actually another independent existence. In other words, you can get to wealth with or without having to pass through the so-called condition. You do not need to fulfill these conditions to get wealthy. But when you believe in conditions, then they will be there. There are countless paths to wealth, and conditions are just one of those paths. It is your choice whether or not you wish to go through conditions. Even time, which looks like a condition, is not a condition. People think you need a lot of time and age to get wealthy, so it happens that way for them. But it does not have to be that way. Everything that is conceivable exists. You can only understand this if you understood the nature of time, quanta, and spirit. Conditions are not if-then statements that separate having and not having. They are just another outcome out of an infinite number of outcomes. They do not exist as conditions. They exist as just another possible existence. You do not have to pass through them, but if you believe in conditions and you create them, then of course you will experience them. The important thing to know is that, even scientifically, conditions do not exist as if-then statements, as requirements that you have to go through, or as traps that you are born in and must stay in, or as things you can only get out of using certain actions and getting certain help that is outside of you. Conditionality does not exist. We have designed conditionality on our own. What you call a condition is not a condition. It is just another one of those infinite possible existences, and it does not exclude you from having another existence. Read on, and you will understand them, and then overcome them. Conditionality does not exist. Outside circumstances can only affect you as far as you allow them to do so. The outer environment and conditions of a person are always related to the person's inner states and thought. It is through the environment and conditions that a person experiences and discovers their thoughts and states. This is made possible by the fact that the universe, without error, fashions the environment and conditions a person has from their thoughts and states of being. A person is always in the perfect setting to see and experience themselves, to change and grow. It is in recognizing and using this perfect system that a person can direct and quicken their growth in wealth and all other areas. Think outside the square. The square is the box that has been created for you by your past conditioning, experiences, teachers, news, environment, and so on. It is not a real box. It only exists in the mind, your mind, and the minds of those around you. This is all that keeps the square there. It is not real on its own. It needs you and everyone else to survive. You can break outside of it by thinking outside the square. You have heard this many times, but now you can finally do it all the time. You do it by dropping all constructions you have in your mind as to how to do things. For example, some people who have never had a university education believe that to be wealthy, one has to have a university degree. They were told that, and they think they may have observed that, so they hold it true. But this limitation can be removed simply by dropping that construction and its belief in it from all thought. Many have dropped it and succeeded wildly. In fact, Bill Gates of Microsoft voluntarily dropped out of college. He just never did finish that undergraduate degree. And millions around the world have succeeded wildly without a college degree. This is not to say you should not go to university. Universities have a very important role. But if you find that your square, your box, is that you have not been to university and you are unable to go there, then simply drop the construction and your belief in it, and your square will drop. That is thinking outside the square. You can do this in anything, from product development to finance, to new business ideas, to anything else. You do it merely by being aware, intending to do it, and consciously dropping your constructions. Question: how do you build a totally new and radical house or car? You build one by dropping all previous constructions of how you have been told a house or a car needs to be built. Drop it all and have a clean slate without any shoulds or should-nots. Then drop the slate. Let it all come to you. Inspiration unrestricted by should or should not is key. It is a very deliberate yet unbound thing to do. Very fruitful. Ask Einstein. Make all conditions serve you, for that is what they are here to do. They are an experiential field created wholly for your enjoyment, self-discovery, and learning. This is because they are fashioned out of your previous thoughts, words, actions, and states of being. Face all financial and other difficulties calmly and without worry. Even before they occurred, they had been solved. Even before you ask, it has been given to you. Simply receive. There are no coincidences, accidents, chance, or luck in this universe. The universe works under perfect laws that never make an error even once. The source, God, does work perfectly. Everything works out perfectly by law. Things only look like coincidences and accidents to those who do not see the truths behind them. Nature works with effortless ease and precision, with infinite organizing power in incalculable ways, without resistance. You do not have to understand how your wealth will be created. Simply hold your vision high, think, speak, and do by your vision, and automatically, coincidentally, it will all work out. Do not resist whatever happens along the way, for it is nature's incalculable ways working out to bring you what you envisioned. Just hold your end of the bargain by keeping your vision high and steadfast, and think, speak, and act by your vision. Be detached. This allows nature's creativity to work for you. Detachment means not preferring anything else than what is happening right now, but having the freedom to choose a different future. What is happening right now is the perfect manifestation of your previous intentions, thoughts, words, and actions. Preferring an alternative now leads to delaying the achievement of your goals. Such preference is wanting, and wanting perpetuates a state of wanting. For example, if it is your desire and intention to become a multimillionaire, and you have done your part in aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with your vision, you must admit that you do not know which is the best and optimal path for you to take to reach that goal. You cannot predict the exact day-to-day events from now on that you need to lead you to your desired outcome. But the source can do that easily. Your inner self can do that as well, and it will take you there in the best way possible. Let it work its magical way by not resisting the moment of now that it brings you. Just do your part, and let it do its part. It is the fastest, most effective, most enjoyable way. And you can be happy and restful always, for you know what is coming eventually. Calmness is power. Calmness puts you in harmony with yourself and nature. It puts you in control of your thoughts, enables you to have right thought. It is testament to the fact that you are not your circumstances, and you are not inferior to your circumstances. Calmness is confidence. Calmness is your true nature, perfect balance, perfect stillness, and perfect peace. Always say, I am calm. Calmness is not suppression. True calmness is clear and open. It does not hide or suppress anything internally in order to show its calmness. It is pure and natural. Calmness represents and can be developed by knowing, internalizing, practicing, and living the laws of the universe, the laws of life, laws such as the ones in this book. Suffering indicates an error in thinking. It is a cue for you to find and change that error. Often in the deepest moments of suffering is the biggest opportunity to find new truth. But suffering is not necessary. In fact, the most enlightened of people have been able to eliminate suffering completely. Suffering is just a means of communication from yourself to your personality and mind and back to self, to put it briefly, and is only used when there are no other options. The people who are most resistant to the more subtle clues from themselves find themselves suffering the most. Those who are most aware and tuned to their self through things such as active intuition are able to work out life deliberately instead of having life work them out. Conditions do not exist. Conditionality is an illusion. Conditions are created to create an environment that matches your thoughts. In other words, conditionality is an illusion that follows thought to fulfill and manifest thought into experience of that thought. Conditions convert thought from symbols in the mind to actual experiences. The reality is that the universe contains all that there can possibly be, all held in the eternal moment of now, here. But if you believe and think that you are poor, conditions will form around you to fulfill that belief and those thoughts. On the other hand, if you believe and think that you are wealthy, conditions will form around you to fulfill that belief and those thoughts. Thus the statement, "I cannot afford that because I don't have the money," is false. What is actually happening is that you believe in insufficiency, and the world around you arranges itself over time to present you with needs of things that you cannot afford. By the way, for the same reason, need is also an illusion. How can you need what you already have, and you have it all, for it is all created, even before you ask, it has been given unto you, as Jesus and many other teachers have told us before, and now quantum physics is showing us the same thing. Conditions do not exist. Conditionality is an illusion. You cause conditions, yet it seems as if they are placed upon you by external forces. This is one of the most liberating insights. Understand it deeply. Live by it. Make all your decisions by it, and life will become magic. Just try it. When you fight against circumstances, you are fighting fruitlessly against the effects, strengthening and preserving the cause. Let us say, for example, that your circumstances are such that you see yourself broke. If you act from a broke perspective, cutting costs, being mean and stingy, being bitter, scared, and jealous, in an attempt to prevent yourself from becoming even more broke, what are you really doing? Can you start to see how you are perpetuating and energizing the broke conditions? By consistently believing and thinking about being broke, you are creating the conditions of being broke through the power of belief and thought. Remember, the universe always gives you what you think about most often, believingly. It is at your command. The way to fix being broke is to take on a state of wealth internally and think, speak, and act from that perspective. Wealth is first a state of being, which is then experienced. It is not the other way around. Wealth is not created because of certain conditions. Certain conditions are created because of wealth. Abundance is not created because of certain conditions. Certain conditions are created because of abundance. Conditionality does not exist. The following statement is wrong. A person is poor because of certain conditions around him or her. The following statement is right. Conditions of poverty are around a person because that person's self and thoughts are of poverty consciousness. The state, beingness, creates the condition. Most people think it is the other way around. Those who see it clearly find their conditions magically transforming themselves to give them lucky breaks and coincidences. Get out of thinking that you are your conditions. Say, "I am not my seeming lack of wealth I wish to have. I am not my job. I am not my condition." Why do things repeat themselves? Some people always keep failing in whatever business they try, for example. Here's the reason. You keep bringing yourself the same circumstances and situations over and over again until you decide to recreate yourself anew, change your thought pattern, and change yourself into a new, improved being. Avoid judging things as right or wrong. Things are just things. Their classification lies in the choice of the observer of these things to classify them as good or bad, right or wrong, fun or not. The minute you judge things, you judge yourself. You also block the hidden gift that an event brings to you. The Taoists have a wonderful way of explaining it using the story of a farmer whose horse ran away. The farmer's horse ran away, and his neighbor, feeling sorry for the farmer, said to the farmer, "I am sorry that such a bad thing happened to you." The farmer replied, "Don't be, for who knows what is good or bad." Well, the next day the horse that ran away came back to the farmer, this time bringing with it a herd of wild horses that it had befriended. The neighbor said to the farmer, "I congratulate you for your good fortune." The farmer replied, "Don't, for who knows what is good or bad." Well, the next day the farmer's son tried to mount one of the wild horses and fell, breaking his leg. Again the neighbor said to the farmer, "I am sorry that such a bad thing happened to you." The farmer replied, "Don't be, for who knows what is good or bad." The next day soldiers came by to forcefully recruit for the army, but the farmer's son was exempted because of his broken leg. Now this is just a simple story, but it demonstrates the miracles that the source works in the most unpredictable and seemingly unconnected ways so that all things work out to perfection. For those who know and work with the laws of the universe, those who apply the law of cause and effect, who have certain goals and purpose and vision, then this magic works beautifully, bringing with it synchronous events, coincidences, and many other twists and turns that lead to the desired end. So, avoid judging things and people. It only slows you down and harms you. For you do not know the chain of events planned. Also, you become what you judge, and what you condemn returns to affect you. By law of cause and effect, when you judge and condemn, you set yourself up to be judged and condemned. Your part is simply to have clear vision and certainty on all matters that relate to your life, the inner workings of how your visions and goals will come to be. The daily events, good or bad, are taken care of for you, as long as you do not interfere with the process. Your intention works like a magnet that draws to itself all that is needed to make it manifest into the physical. This is an example of how your intention works out. You think up a new idea. You have a new desire. You intend to have your desire come to life. This then starts drawing to you all the things needed for you to attain your desire. It is a magical thing. You have certain dreams, you meet certain people, you go through certain conditions, you acquire certain skills. Many seemingly coincidental events occur. As this process goes on, parts of your desire keep manifesting into reality until the whole of it completely manifests. Trust the system. Do not fight the things that are drawn to you by your intention, for they are the perfect drawings of your own co-creation. See your predicaments with humor. This is the first step to getting unattached from them. Why do people sometimes hit rock bottom? Why do people sometimes become devastated, financially, emotionally, or otherwise? The answer lies in the use of suffering. We are not designed so that we can suffer. If we were to listen to our spirit a lot more, if we were to recapture that ability and be much more intuitive and listen to an intuition, our suffering would reduce dramatically. But when we refuse to listen to the higher wisdom of our soul, we then suffer in the physical so that we can correct errors in thinking. Haven't you ever wondered why it is that many of the people who become extremely wealthy had at some time been broke? The classic rags to riches story. Remember, it is not necessary for this to happen. But when it happens, and the person it is happening to takes responsibility and learns from it, the person becomes very wealthy. At the bottom, at rock bottom, a person is stripped of everything. The psychological false defenses that keep the person from accepting their highest truth are taken away. When the person disidentifies and disengages from these falsehoods and accepts the truth, they get up again very high. In regards to wealth, one of the truths is that we are abundant by nature. There are many truths about wealth and happiness, and many are covered in this book. It is not necessary for you to go to rock bottom and suffer so that you may identify with the truth. Suffering only comes when people refuse to listen to more subtle signals. These signals can come from within or from sources such as books, other people, TV, movies. The source communicates in infinite ways. It is us who do not pay attention and listen. It is us who choose to ignore what we feel is true. Another reason for suffering is to know what not suffering is and how to get to the not suffering. For example, for you to know what red is, you have to know what red is not. You do not have to know this experientially and personally, but you definitely need to know it. Imagine a robot that has never experienced a state of happiness or sadness. This robot may be very smart, very well programmed in the knowledge of happiness and sadness. The programmer may explain as much as possible what happiness is, but the robot will only ever know conceptually what happiness is. And that is not true knowing, it is emptiness. Only by experiencing happiness yourself can you know happiness, and to do so you need to experience, even if for a short while, the opposite of happiness, which is sadness. There are some things that you need first-hand personal experience in, and there are some things that you only need to know conceptually. Sometimes the ones you need to know firsthand include things you may call suffering, but in essence they are tools to enable you to enjoy their opposites that you seek. Much of your pain is self-chosen. It is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. Therefore trust the physician, and drink his remedy in silence and tranquility, for his hand, though heavy and hard, is guided by the tender hand of the unseen. Khalil Gibran. The psychological rule says that when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside as fate. That is to say, when an individual remains undivided and does not become conscious of his inner contradictions, the world must perforce act out the conflict and be torn into opposite halves. Carl Jung. All other things held constant. To the extent that an individual or society understands and uses the illusion of conditionality in the right way, so will they have wealth and happiness. It feels refreshing to know that we are not at the mercy of some random circumstances and conditions, to know that we create them and they are beautiful gifts that come to serve our growth. It is liberating. Now we shall look at an aspect of conditionality that has been extremely misrepresented in society. They say that you can either succeed or fail. Here is the beautiful truth and secret. You always succeed. Success. You can never fail. Concerning wealth, no condition has been more misrepresented than success and failure. Many people think you can either succeed or fail. Well, failure is yet another illusion, and success is all that there is. This is such a profound truth that you should make every effort to understand it. All of life is a success, full of successive moments. Failure, when used without fear as a learning process, is what eliminates weakness and builds strength in thought and character. This new strength in thought and character is essential and critical to the future success that you seek. Failure is truly a successive moment, a moment of success in its own right. Through failure, one learns how to succeed and how eventual triumph tastes like. For how would you know how to relish the sweet taste of triumph if you did not know how failure tasted? And how would you know how to arrive at your intended triumph without the tools designed to get there? The most common cause of failure is the lack of clear and focused goals and visualizations. The universe, life, literally lacks something to work with, so it does nothing. Life is images of the mind expressed, and without images, there is no expression. Often, in your darkest hour, lies the greatest opportunity to be all that you can be. Your worst moments are often your biggest liberators, your highest teachers. Do not fight and resist them when they come. Instead, look into them for the lesson they hold, the liberation they bring. Suffering is always an indication of an error in thinking. You are not designed to suffer. You were designed to enjoy life. Gain and loss are two sides of the same thing. Through loss, you gain new things. Through loss, you know the sweetness of gain. Without loss, there would be no gain. It is the struggling against loss and the preference of gain over loss that causes suffering and retarded growth. It is the acceptance of loss and gain as both gifts to fuel to your growth that will propel you to greater heights faster. In the end, you will then see that loss was not really loss. At the point when you recognize the gains you got from the loss, you will see that the loss was really a blessing and that loss does not exist. Every loss has a gain, if only you accept and look into it for it and have patience. Loss is usually, number one, a result of an error in your thinking in which you have the opportunity to correct your thoughts and make massive gains, or, number two, not because of your thinking, but a new opportunity selected by your higher self designed to take you higher, a chance to discover a new, higher truth. Use all conditions to enjoy and build yourself. That is what they are there for. Even the negative ones are useful. If, for example, you are faced with a situation in which you are under oppressive people, first make sure you choose to be in a libertarian, self-loving, and loving state, the opposite of oppressive, of being internally. Think, speak, and act liberty, self-love, and love. Show them kindness and forgiveness rather than being oppressive to them when you get a chance. That is how you get out of your negative circumstances. That way, and by visualizing in detail, with belief, the way you wish to create your next world. When you become a non-oppressive person who loves themselves and others truly, internally, you will find yourself leaving that oppressive situation. The negative situation will have done its work in fixing you with your voluntary participation. Always remember that at some level, whether you are conscious of it or not, you chose the circumstance you are in. When you look within you to find the error in thought causing your suffering, always look with humility so that your ego does not interfere. Look with sincerity to find truthfully. Look with no self-pity or mercy. Call a spade a spade. Remember, it is a private exercise. No one else will know and ridicule you, so feel free to be precise and honest with yourself. Most people have been programmed to fear failure. They give up to avoid failure, or they do not even attempt just so that they may not fail. Failure, however, is an illusion. Begin to see it as an illusion. Failure, suffering, is an essential component to success. It is what helps you correct wrong thought if you approach it with an attitude of learning. Through failure, you learn how to succeed. By trying and failing, you refine your thought and point it ever closer to success. But this is so only if you do not give up. Through failure, you get to know success and how to get there. How else would you know what success tastes like if you did not know what it does not taste like? And how would you get there without knowing how to? Think about that. Failure is an integral part of success. Failure is actually a successive moment that leads to ultimate success. Failure is not the opposite of success, a separate entity from success. Failure is success. It is the same thing, but they are on different ends of that spectrum, the spectrum of achievement. It is just like hot and cold are different ends of the spectrum of temperature or a thermometer. Failure and success are both different vibrations of the same thing. Failure is not failure as such. It is only truly failure when you accept it as the end. But if you accept it as a blessed part of the process, a part that helps you succeed further, and know what this further success tastes like, then you can never possibly ever fail, ever. Failure is an illusion. Stop fearing it. Love it for the gifts it brings you. Life is a collection of experiences. The challenges make up part of the experiences. Use the challenges to become better, and enjoy the rewarding and triumphant experience that follows every challenge. Every try is a success that leads to the eventual desired outcome, the big success. View it that way.
Your survival is guaranteed. You do not have to qualify for your dignity and life. All other things held constant, to the extent that an individual or society encourages and applauds all moments, events, and attempts, seeing them as successive moments of successes, so will they have wealth and happiness. Now that we have defined success and uncovered the illusion of failure, it is time to look at the object of the quest for success. In other words, what people want. Here is another secret: desire, but never want.
The steps to wealth and happiness. You are now on a journey, at the end of which you shall know how to create all the wealth and happiness you ever wished for, now without any limits. You shall soon also know many timeless truths about who you really are, what you are doing here, and what this game of life is all about. Here are the steps of the journey that you are now taking with this book. Number 1. You shall first take a simplified look at quantum physics, for knowing what you and the world are made of is the first key to knowing how to make it your way. After this, you will never look at the world in the same way again. You shall have an amazing sense of involvement and power in the universe. Number 2. Then the secrets of time shall be unveiled, beginning with the fact that time does not exist. You shall learn how to use this illusion instead of being used by it. There is only now. Number 3. You now will learn how to create your universe out of the quantum field using images of your mind. This is the first part of the creation lessons. Number 4. You then learn how to create using your thoughts. You will learn the right way to think and what the mind is really for and when to shut it down for your own benefit. Number 5. You will then look at the power of true goal setting in the thousands in a way that you may never have heard before, a most powerful way. Number 6, next will come the most powerful creation tool of all, your state of being. Number 7, the final creation tool, action, will then be uncovered in its true position and purpose to you. Number 8, you shall then learn the magical and vital ingredient of certainty, and learn how to have it in plenty. Number 9, now it will be time to look at the prime law of the universe and how to use it to have happiness and wealth in abundance. This is the law of cause and effect. Number 10, while still in this law we shall look at what conditions really are. This will shock you, make you laugh, empower you, and free you. Number 11. While still on conditions, you shall see how you are and shall realize ever-present success and never fail. Number 12. Then you shall look at a prime killer of wealth and happiness and how to totally avoid it. Number 13. You will then move on to progressively larger things. You will start with your self-chosen purpose here on earth. Why did you come here? You shall see. Number 14. Then the gift of giving and the gifts it brings in return will be fully given to you. Number 15, the power of gratitude now shall be unveiled. This will prove to be extremely powerful for you. Number 16, finally, it will be time to look at consciousness. What makes you here, now, awake? Number 17, and then it shall get really interesting when you have a look at yourself, the first cause of all that is in your world. Get familiar with yourself and your world will change dramatically. Number 18. After that, you shall see what is larger than the self, that which you and all else are part of. It is the One. Knowing how you relate to all that is, the Source, then experiencing this, will put you in a position of immense joy and abundance. Number 19. And on that note, you shall see how abundant you really are. Number 20. From there you shall look at your real nature and how to reclaim it. It is the nature of pure joy. Number 21. Then, coming around full circle, you shall see how to best handle paper money, as you know it now, to increase wealth. Number 22. And to close this part of the journey, you will be guided into the next empowering steps you may wish to take after you first finish this book. Want not. Desire, but never ever want. There's a good reason to watch your words, thought, actions, and states. Every state and thought is acted upon precisely by the universe, by law. Each word carries with it thousands of years of meaning and instructions on how it will be carried out. For example, the word jump invokes specific images in any person's mind, along with the appropriate instructions to execute it. And the universe, which has to assist in that jump, acts accordingly. Laws of physics, spirit, mind, body, coordination, etc. Even as you read this book, the words invoke in you certain things, some of which you can feel right now. Some people by now will excitedly know the words in here will enable them to make big differences in their lives. And that knowing is already starting to make changes unseen. And some people already know this as they read this. In regards to wealth, the most important word to watch out for is want and all its equivalents. Wanting communicates to you and to the universe that you do not have something, first mistake, and that you are in a state of not having it, but wishing you did, second mistake. The problem is compounded by the fact that wanting is a perpetual state. In itself, it has no finality. Think about it. You can never get what you want. Never. It only looks like people get what they want, but they never really do so. What actually happens is that very gradually they shift from the state of wanting to other states, and then they get what they had wanted initially. But as long as they are in a state of wanting, they cannot get that which they want. Here's how the illusion of a person getting what they want works. Remember the last time you wanted to eat and you got what you wanted. You ate something. Okay, you wanted something to eat. This is a wanting state. But watch what happened next. You started to go get something to eat. You actually shifted from wanting to a getting state, which has finality. You then shift to the present tense of having, finally, and you appear to have had what you wanted. See, you never did get what you wanted when you were in a wanting state. You had to shift states. This unconscious shifting from a state of wanting to another state is easily done all the time by people, but only for small things. But what if it was something so big, something you had never done before? Would you still get it if you wanted it? Unlike food, it would be harder for you to unconsciously shift from the wanting state because you have not gone through it before. If you found yourself wanting $20, it would be easy for you to unconsciously shift from the state of wanting to getting because you have done it before over and over again. But what if you wanted $1 million and you have never had more than $20,000 in your life before? Would you be able to shift unconsciously from wanting to getting $1,000,000? Most likely not. The solution is this: never want. You can never get what you want. Wanting something very bad is worse. In your thoughts, words, states, and feelings, replace want with desire or wish. Unlike wanting, desire does not necessarily have to mean you do not have something. It is a very subtle difference, and some people may say they are the same thing, but there is a world of difference. Some thesauruses may even say want is interchangeable with desire, but that is simply for some linguistic purposes. Remember, your thoughts are carried out with precision and perfection by the universe. It is the way the system is designed. Wanting is carried out with precision, and wanting represents a perpetual state of not having. Desire is not a perpetual state of not having. In fact, it does not necessarily have to mean you do not have what you desire. It is sad and funny to think that billions of people are kept away from what they want by such a simple little difference. It all lies in the precise execution of the universe. Precisely. It is not just the word want that should be avoided. It is the state. It helps nothing to avoid the word want, but to be in a state of want. That is useless. Language is the symbol used to represent things such as state. The word want is a symbol that represents the state of wanting. It is therefore the state that you should avoid first. The symbol, the word itself, is also to be avoided so as to not invoke the state. Please, desire, but never want. Here are a few dictionary definitions of the word want. To be without, lack, to be destitute or needy, a defect of character, a fault, to be absent, to be deficient or lacking, to fail, not to be sufficient, to fall or come short, to lack. This is what you communicate to the universe to bring to you when you want something. The universe brings you just that, absence and deficiency. None of these negative definitions is included for the word desire. Now here are some dictionary definitions of the word desire. To express a wish for, request, the natural longing that is excited by the enjoyment or the thought of any good, and impels to action or effort its continuance or possession, an eager wish to obtain or enjoy. Not needing a particular result in the moment of now frees the subconscious mind from all thoughts about why you cannot have a particular result. This in turn opens the path to the particular result that was consciously intended. This is one of the benefits of intending with detachment. You intend a future outcome, you are certain of it, but you are detached as to what is happening in the present moment. For example, assume that you intend to be a millionaire, but in the present moment events are moving in a way that suggests you're not going towards your goal. You will make the best progress if you are detached from the present moment, meaning you accept it as it is instead of fighting it and getting frustrated by it and losing hope. But regardless of your detachment, keep your certainty about your outcome in the future, about becoming a millionaire. Learn to enable the coexistence of intention, certainty, and detachment in your life, and life will quickly become happy and wealthy for you. Resistance and frustration will slowly fall out, and certainty and confidence will grow. You see, you cannot fail to get wealthy if your goals are clear and focused, and you are certain, faithful, you believe. It is impossible to fail. Failure would mean breaking the unbreakable laws of the universe. So certainty enables you to relax, knowing wealth is on the way, regardless of whatever the present moment may look like. Lack of detachment equates to resistance, and what you resist persists. Eliminate all forms of wanting. These include regrets about the past, wishing things are or were different, looking forward to, wishing, wanting, worrying, and throwing your awareness and consciousness out into the future or past. In other words, do not hold on to the past moment. Do not wish you were in the next moment to come, but instead take in the moment of now in its fullness for all the gifts it brings to you. The faster way to create a great future is to simply intend, release, and get back to enjoying here now. Wanting tells the universe to create conditions that keep you in wanting, making it impossible to have what you want unless you get out of the state of wanting and into another state. It is a very subtle but important way of seeing life. Never want anything. Wanting makes the universe give you the conditions that create a perpetual state of wanting. have passion, have desire, have intentions, but want not. Eliminate the word want in your language and the state of wanting in your thinking and being. Replace it with desire and desiring, like and liking. Wanting creates conditions of perpetual wanting. You never get what you want. If you ever find yourself thinking you do not have something or you are not something, then you are wanting. Wanting is a state of being that professes not having, lacking. It is not just a word in the spoken language. All other things held constant, to the extent that an individual or society eliminates wanting in their language and in their state of being, so will they have wealth and happiness. If you find yourself fighting against want, reread the chapters on quantum physics, abundance, one, and self, and understand truly how, as it has been taught by teachers for thousands of years, you have it all, and even before you ask, it has been given unto you. Logically, scientifically, and spiritually, there is absolutely no reason to want. Of course, there is reason to desire, but none to want. Wanting is a belief in not having. You have it all. Why then would you wish to believe that you do not have it? Now that we have that all clear, let us look at some big and interesting things. We start with your purpose, that uniqueness of you that no one else can duplicate. Let us move on. Purpose. Why are you here? What is your purpose? Your purpose is separate from your goals. What is your purpose? Why are you here? Only by knowing and declaring your purpose and holding it high every day can you move forward fast in the right direction for you and have a great time doing so. The right question is, why did you choose to come here on earth? Where did you get your purpose? Consider this suggestion. You have free will. When did this free will start? Some people think it starts after you are born. They believe that they did not have a choice whether or not to be born, but once they are here, they have free will to make choices in their lives. Others believe that your free will is eternal, and it starts even before you are born. That is not such a strange idea. Your soul is eternal. Your eyes tell you that life starts when one is born, but something deeper tells you that this may not be the real beginning. Purpose or destiny is what you, yourself or soul, chose to come to do here on earth, a choice based on its set of attributes and wishes. And the circumstances and location you were born in are perfect for you to collect the necessary tools to fulfill your chosen purpose were you to go through life with such an awareness. That is why your unique purpose feels so good once you find it. That is why it gives you so much joy doing it. That is because you chose it a long time ago. It is what you came here to do. Unfortunately, so many people do not fulfill their purpose largely because of the way our society and education is structured. Yet you can easily fulfill yours if you choose to. You first find your purpose by spending some quiet time thinking what makes you feel so good, what you have so much passion for. Do not think of job descriptions or careers. Drop all those labels society has taught you to believe in. They are the number one reason why people do not find their purpose. Just ask yourself, what makes me happy? It could be spending time with butterflies, or flying around the world making deals, or cooking, or speaking to people, or anything else. Once you do that, envision it, intend, and make goals toward moving to a point where you'll be working as a career in your discovered purpose. For example, let us imagine that your purpose is studying butterflies and you are now working unhappily in a non-butterfly related job. Do not despair. Start getting books and finding people in the butterfly field. Find out all that you can. Then start making goals and choices that will eventually take you out into a position that is butterfly related. Do not worry about money and all the other little worries you may start having. They will sort themselves out as long as you do not worry. And you will be very happy and successful once you work in your destiny or purpose, a destiny that you yourself chose before you were born here on earth. Your self-satisfaction will also rise and you will be making optimal contribution to the world at large. Sit down quietly and find out why you are here. You have a purpose. You may or may not know it yet. You can discover what it is by asking yourself this question and by being true to yourself. Your special talent is usually your purpose. or it may be something you always felt, especially as a child, that you could do very well. Children often know their purposes, but as they grow up, society and education systems confuse them. Or it may be what gives you the most joy. In fact, your purpose cannot be in something that does not give you joy and satisfaction. Find it, then live your life by your purpose, and wealth will come to you a lot easier and joyfully. And you will love your work. Work is love made visible. And if you cannot work with love but only with distaste, it is better that you should leave your work and sit at the gate of the temple and take alms of those who work with joy. Khalil Gibran. Define your purpose in life clearly. Keep it high in your thoughts at all times. Declare your goals by it. Align your thoughts, words, and actions with it at all times, and your life will be fulfilled and satisfactory. The surest way to enjoy your work is to work within your purpose in life. Work within whatever you determine is your purpose in life, not your job or obligation, but that which you feel called from within to do, that which you dream of doing, and joy at work will be easy to experience. What does this tell you? That everyone can work at a job or business that they enjoy so long as they know what their purpose is and they work within it. When you align your thoughts fearlessly to your life's purpose, you become a powerful, creative force. When you are working within your purpose, work no longer becomes a job, it becomes a pleasure, and it becomes life. The boundaries between work and fun vanish. How many purposes do you have? You have as many as you feel that you have. You are not restricted to just one. You are a multidimensional being. All of the things held constant. To the extent that an individual or society finds and works in their purpose, so will they have wealth and happiness. Life is a celebration, and joy makes for celebration. Joy is spirit being expressed in the ways it likes to and desires to. Purpose gives spirit that opportunity. Find your purpose that you chose for yourself, and you will find love, joy, and wealth in your work and contribute optimally to society. Talking about contributions, did you know that one of the most powerful ways to get wealth is to give? It multiplies sevenfold back to you. Let us move into another powerful insight. Giving. It's what it's all about. One of the greatest laws is the law of giving. It is a phenomenal law. Give freely and happily. Always form a habit of giving cheerfully. Give first before you receive. Whatever energy you give will come back to you in amazing ways. You may give away your time, for example, and it comes back to you much later from an unexpected source in an unexpected form in a way that benefits you greatly. You cannot insist on a particular way and time it will come back to you, but you can be assured it will come back in the best way for you. Give, 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 and do so cheerfully and freely. It is the energy behind the giving that matters, so do not give grudgingly. The law of cause and effect guarantees that you shall receive plenty for what you give. Life is for giving. Give what you have on you. Time, money, smiles, love, compliments, anything. And you will get back what you do not have on you. Give graciously and receive gratefully. Grace and gratitude are the energizing factors of giving and receiving. By taking care of society and nature, you take care of yourself. Share with and give to nature and society often. It is the goose that lays the golden eggs, and it needs to be protected and nourished so that it can protect and nourish you. Share, give, help others. In the proportion and to the extent that you cause others to build their wealth, so will you build your wealth. Invest some money in financial services and in institutions that lend money to others and enable others to build wealth. This is another great way for you to take care of society, to make it wealthy so that you may also get wealthier from it. The universe is all energy. Energy flows. Giving promotes this energy flow, placing you in harmony with the powers of the universe. Whatever you wish to have, cause another being to have it first, and you will begin to have it in abundance. Give and you will receive in multiples. For example, if you wish to have wealth, show others how to have wealth, and in an amazing way, you will soon find yourself wealthy. It is a very complicated system that works perfectly. Give cheerfully. Share, share, share. It is an investment banked with the universe that returns to you with amazing interest. Share gladly and genuinely. What you wish to have, cause another to have. To have wealth and abundance, cause another to have it. How do you cause others to have wealth? Teach these lessons to your friends that are interested in wealth. Show them this book and others like it. Form study groups or mastermind circles with them. Where two or more are gathered, the whole is more than the sum of its parts. Develop an awareness that enables you to look out for and see all opportunities where you can give something freely and cheerfully. You can give material things, your time, skills, or anything else. Get out of the habit of thinking that you should receive something first before you give. That is not giving, that is an exchange. Giving freely and cheerfully enables you to do business, if you wish to look at it that way, with the universe. This is how it works. You give someone something that you have now with you, freely and cheerfully. The universe, by law, finds the best way to give back that energy to you in the form of something that you do not have with you. It gives you back in multiples when it is most appropriate, in the most appropriate form. It is a magical process. Obviously, the more you give, the more magic you create for yourself. Life starts to work for you. Develop a strong desire and persistence to give cheerfully and freely. In your goal setting, remember to include several goals that are about free and cheerful giving. Giving, under the law of cause and effect, is one of the most powerful actions you can take. It returns in multiples, sevenfold. You cannot afford to leave out giving in your life plan. You cannot afford to leave it to chance occurrence. Develop giving into a habit, something you do naturally without having to think of it. This makes you into a consistent and persistent giver, and the universe will work for you. Give spontaneously. Work on the habit of giving until you get to a point where you enjoy giving. Enjoy it thoroughly. It is okay to think and know that when you give, you will get back something from the universe. You do not have to pretend you are not interested in receiving a reward for giving. Expecting a reward is good. In fact, expecting a reward is empowering a reward to come to you. The violation of the law of giving comes when you start expecting to receive something back from the same being you give to, saying, "Well, I did this for you, so you should do that for me." In fact, demanding a particular reward back is a violation. It makes you trading-minded rather than cheerful and free-giving-minded. Never ask or expect payback from those you give to. The reward you receive will come from a source and a time and in a form that the universe finds best suited for you. You always have something to give. Time, compliments, talent, money, knowledge, share a book, etc. Giving has one bonus effect. It shows you what you have but did not know you had. Say you wish to have wealth. You then decide to give wealth first by helping others learn how to have wealth. You read books such as these, help where you can with such knowledge, share these kind of books, and so on. In that process, magically, you end up realizing you had a whole lot of wealth and wealth capabilities that you previously thought you lacked. You are surrounded with abundant opportunities to give, but you only see them when you decide to start seeing them. Learn also to receive graciously and happily. Do not feel uncomfortable receiving. You deserve it, and by receiving, you are in harmony with the law of giving and receiving. The trick to giving is to not force it upon those you give to. Offer your gift freely and cheerfully. Show your hand. Do not shove. Show. If the receiver does not wish to take your gift, respect that cheerfully. Do not get offended if your gift is not accepted. Allow the other person their full nature of freedom and choice. And do not make a person dependent on you. When a person becomes dependent on your gifts unnecessarily, you have not done them any good because you have reduced their belief and ability in themselves. Here is a likely scenario. Imagine a person who does not have much in material possessions to give and share with others. But this person is very charming and kind. The person gives 1,000 compliments to people he or she comes across without even getting one compliment back. This person uplifts their mood and confidence by finding ways to encourage and compliment them. But this person never gets a compliment back from anybody. Well, not to worry. The universe keeps its accounts perfectly. This person's giving builds credit in the universal system. One day, by the law of cause and effect, of giving and receiving, this person somehow gets the bicycle he or she has always wanted, just when the person needed it, in a way that looks like a miracle. It could be by winning some competition or having it given to them by a stranger or one of a countless other possibilities, what people call luck. That is how giving works. Sometimes the universe takes little things that you have, can give, and do give, and it puts them into one big thing that you do not have and require, and it gives that to you at a perfect time. You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. For what are possessions but things you keep and guard for fear you may need them tomorrow? And what is fear of need but fear itself? Is not dread of thirst when your well is full, the thirst that is unquenchable? There are those who give little of the much of which they have, and they give it for recognition, and their hidden desire makes the gift unwholesome. And there are those who have little and give it all. These are the believers in life and the bounty of life, and their coffer is never empty. It is well to give when asked, but it is better to give unasked, through understanding. For in truth, it is life that gives unto life, while you, who deem yourself a giver, are but a witness, and you are all receivers. Khalil Gibran, the prophet. All other things held constant, to the extent that an individual or society shares and gives in the right way, so will they have wealth and happiness. Now you know how to do business with the universe, so to speak. The universe itself is a giving universe, for life is for giving. You give and you receive sevenfold. You actually are rewarded for your kindness. The source, life, is all about giving, and the intelligence that runs the universe honors your giving always, always. Give cheerfully. Everything in life is a gift, especially with regard to wealth and happiness. Never cease to cause others to have wealth and happiness, and you will have wealth and happiness in multiples. But what goes with giving? Receiving. And what goes with that? Gratitude. Thank you. Let's have a look at that. Gratitude seals the deal. All of life is a gift. Every person, moment, and thing is a gift. It is only that we refuse to open the gifts, hence we do not get the gift sent to us. All things come to those who are grateful. There's great truth to that, and here's why it works so well. By law of cause and effect, your gratitude attracts that which you are grateful for. And you should be grateful even before you receive it because, by law, you know you will receive it. In fact, you have it even before you ask. Gratitude speeds that reception because it is a statement of belief. You are already enthusiastically and genuinely grateful, in a state of gratitude, because of what you will receive, or more accurately, have received, and are about to experience. Note, the gratitude is there before you even receive what you are seeking. In reality, you have it all already. You just are not experiencing it yet. So gratitude is the first step to receiving and experiencing. It is an affirmation that you know you will have it. Imagine getting grateful and excited about a future event. Do you have any idea how much faith that portrays and how much that takes you to your goals at rapid speed? It is magical. Gratitude creates and grows your faith, in addition to being the right thing to do. Thanks. What you are grateful for reveals its gifts and serves you. Be grateful for everything because everything helps you discover an aspect of yourself. The trick is to learn to want everything that you have already, to love the present moment, all of it, and to prefer nothing but the present moment when you are in the present moment. Doing this places you in a state of calmness and in a position most suitable for finding the gifts contained in the present moment so that you can rapidly grow in the direction that you wish to move to. Gratitude for all things in the past, present, and future works wonders. All other things held constant, to the extent that an individual or society is grateful for everything and for each other, so will they have wealth and happiness. Gratitude does not need much explanation. You already know how to be grateful. Inside of you, you know how magical it is. All you now need to recognize is that every moment, person, and thing was brought to you by your own choices, thoughts, actions, and states of being. You did it. The world just creates itself around you so that you may experience yourself and recreate yourself. So be grateful for every moment, thing, and person. This is the best way to find yourself. Remember, what you resist persists. Gratitude negates resistance. Once you are grateful, you can look at everything clearly and see yourself. Another bonus of gratitude is faith. By being grateful now for things you have intended to experience in future, you become even more certain that you will experience them. And this in turn brings them to you. It allows you to be excited about the future. Okay, let's keep going. Consciousness. You experience what you are awake to. This book has been largely about wealth consciousness. But what is consciousness? It is being awake to something. Wealth consciousness is being awake to wealth. Wealth has always been there, of course, but you may not have been awake to it. You cannot experience what you are asleep to. Consciousness is the set of attributes and capabilities that enable you to be awake to a state of being or a set of experiences. This book has been about the things that enable you to be awake to the wealth that is already there, and the happiness that is already there as well. So, my friend, wake up. The material wealth of a nation is simply the manifestation of the collective wealth consciousness of that nation. That applies to any group of people, from families to corporations to continents and worlds. The least conscious person in a group of people will bring down the experiences of the most conscious. So a wise person does whatever they can to raise the consciousness of the group at large so that they themselves may experience more. It is self-defeating to do nothing or to lower someone else's wealth consciousness.
Several studies show that many people who win over $1 million in lotteries end up worse off financially than they were before they won.
They lose all that money in amazingly short periods and end up even worse off because of the new debts and liabilities they accumulate. See, it is not the money that makes a person wealthy. It is their wealth consciousness. People without wealth consciousness are unable to get wealthy, even when a huge sum of money comes their way in a lottery win. On the other hand, people with wealth consciousness cannot fail to have money and wealth for extended periods. They may go broke occasionally due to an error in thinking or a higher choice, but they always bounce back up. They have no fear of getting broke because they know even if it happens, it is temporary and they are designed to come right back up. You can take away all their money and within a year they will be wealthy again, or at least be on their way to wealth. Luck has nothing to do with it. The greatest creative forces become available when your conscious, subconscious, and superconscious selves are in harmony in their choices. You make them so by raising your consciousness and awareness to all three levels of yourself. You become aware and conscious of things you used to do subconsciously and so on. You can do this by deciding to be aware. Decide to be mindful and deliberate. Watch your thoughts and actions and dreams instead of walking about daydreaming in a daze and doing things on automatic. It would also be a good idea to consider vipassana, mindfulness meditation. It is one of the best ways of increasing your awareness. You see, yourself makes choices, but if you are not aware of them, you will not know what they are. These choices are the superconscious ones. You start becoming aware of them by honoring your feelings, not emotions or thoughts masquerading as feelings, but genuine feelings. You also become aware of your superconscious through meditation. You also make choices consciously and you make some subconsciously. You can increase your awareness of your subconscious choices by deciding to be aware, watching your thoughts. For example, in the past you may have had idle thoughts of fear and indecision regarding a particular topic. These thoughts went on in your head all the time as you did other things. They were background thoughts. Well, now what you should do is watch your thoughts and do not allow any idle daydreams that keep tossing about an issue like a wild monkey in a cage. The point is that if for a particular decision these three levels all choose differently, your results will obviously be mixed and confusing to you. The way to fix that is to raise your awareness on all levels. The source of all creation is a field of infinite possibilities and creativity. Our true self is one with the source, in the same image and likeness. When we are conscious of that, and believe it is so, we tap into this field of infinite possibilities and our inherent creative abilities. You must have wealth consciousness that knows no poverty, or more accurately, the illusion of poverty. Work on it until the idea of poverty is laughable, until to think that you can possibly become poor is a ridiculous idea to you. You create money by increasing the value inside you. You do that by reading books like this. You also do that by remembering your true self that is in the image and likeness of the source, abundant by nature. You then experience money by exchanging the value you have built in you. Exchange it with others by providing services, goods, and money to others in exchange for their services, goods, and money. Remember that people have unique purpose or ability within them. They fulfill part or all of this ability or purpose. They create something out of and by it by using their internal value. Their creations are therefore unique, and the exchange of these unique creations is what brings about the paper or cash money. Paper or cash money is just a medium of exchange for our uniquely developed internal value. Build wealth by building your inner value. Experience wealth by carrying out your purpose and ability using that built-up inner value. It all lies inside you. To build external wealth, build internal value, then exercise it. It is that simple. The biggest components of internal value are instantly available to all. These are faith or certainty, imagination, inquiry, and focus. Activity, taking action, translates inner value into outer value, material wealth. Wealth follows those with wealth consciousness. It is not the other way around. Wealth consciousness comes from states and thoughts of prosperity and wealth full of confidence.
It does not allow any moment at all to think poverty thoughts of limitations, doubt, and scarcity, nor to have states of fear and disbelief.
The earning of money has nothing to do with the direct manipulation of the papers you now call money. It has all to do with wealth consciousness. Wealth is a predictable result. The causes of wealth are predictable and accessible to all without exception. To the extent that you have wealth consciousness inside of you, outside things will enable you to experience wealth or hinder you from experiencing wealth. This is the same for happiness. To the extent that you have happiness inside of you, outside things will enable you to experience happiness or hinder you from experiencing happiness. And it is the same for everything else. Peace, love, non-judgment, non-condemnation, non-segregation, and so on. The collective consciousness is very influential on your own wealth and happiness. You can create many of the events in your life, but some events, especially the large events, happen because of the thoughts and consciousness of people around you in your society and world. You have heard this before in many forms, where two or more are gathered. You are not alone. You are not separate from everyone else. You as an individual matter a lot to the whole and vice versa. Your extent of wealth and happiness is co-determined by yourself and everyone else. Please understand this carefully. No one can stop you from being happy and wealthy. That is because only you alone choose to experience everything as good or bad, all on your own, and no one can possibly take away that internal choice from you. And only you can choose to have wealth or happiness, and no one can take that from you except yourself. But that said, you are more likely to meet good and happy opportunities and events if the people around you are of a suitable consciousness. Think of your mind as an extension of your spirit, your body as an extension of your mind, your immediate environment and other people as an extension of your body, the world as an extension of your environment, and thus the whole world as your own larger extended body. And the same goes for everyone. Thus, whatever good or bad that is in your extended body affects you to the degree that it is away from you. So it is very much in your interest to spread wealth and happiness consciousness around the world. That spreading of wealth consciousness improves the larger extended body as a whole, for what happens to one part of the body affects the whole. The advancement of just one individual in society causes a series of advancements of varying degrees for all others in society. So to raise yourself, raise others, and you will automatically rise as well. Even telling a few people is enough, but telling as many as you can tell shall shift this universe dramatically. This book is a start. Share it. Use the internet, email, and SMS text messaging on your mobile phone. We've invented these affordable communication networks around the world as a testimony of our increasing realization that we are one, and as a tool to keep growing in that realization. So use these networks. Remember them. One of the best ways to become wealthy and happy is by practicing meditation every day. Meditation puts you in touch with your higher self, and the teachings in this book become you experientially in every cell of your body. They no longer are theoretical constructs, for they become you. You no longer have to struggle to practice and remember them, for they are you. Start meditating, and one day soon you will have this happen to you. The recommended meditation technique here is Vipassana, mindfulness, insight, meditation. All other things held constant to the extent that an individual or society has and develops wealth, health, and happiness consciousness in them and in those around them, so will they have wealth, health, and happiness. Now it is time to go to a wider dimension. It is time to look at what it is that has this consciousness. It is time to look at the self, the builder of the universe, the builder that uses space and time as materials to create experiences. This is your life. End of Disc 4. Please continue this experience by inserting Disc 5. A Happy Pocket Full of Money by David Cameron Gikandi. Read by John Wayne Myers. Disc 5. The Self, the architect of the universe. It is now time to look at first cause, that from which everything arises. Know thyself. So has it been said throughout the ages. Yourself, your spirit, or your soul, whatever you are used to referring to it as, is the real you. The rest are just your tools. Your personality and body and ego are just temporary tools of yourself, that which will always remain even after you drop everything else. Yourself is first cause of your entire world. Any state you find yourself in must be caused by self. Your thoughts come from yourself. Your desires come from yourself. Can you think of anything in the world that does not arise from the Spirit? Nothing can exist outside of Spirit. Nothing can exist outside of life. Even wealth has first cause. Now you see why it is crucial to know what Spirit is, so that you may know how to be more in touch and aware of first cause in your life, so that you may create the experience of wealth and happiness in your life. We have already touched on spirit many times before in this book, especially when we were referring to states of being. Now we shall look at two aspects of self. One is the actual spirit side of you and about life. We shall go into that very briefly. The other is a general overview of things you do here as a personality that are healthy for you and yourself and are helpful to the having of wealth and happiness. You are first cause. People attract what they are, not what they want. They attract what they love and what they fear. They sustain what they judge and condemn. What they resist persists. What they accept and examine mindfully releases them. What they truly believe is what becomes real in their lives. See good in everything. Look at the light and you will never see the dark. Change is the only constant in the universe. Everything changes at every moment. Life is all about change, and with change comes growth. You will one day leave even your own body. You can never truly own anything here on earth. Thinking that you own something results in that thing owning you. The thought of ownership causes resistance to change, resistance to the workings of the mighty universe in its infinitely intelligent fashion. The minute you start thinking you own something, it owns you. For you to enjoy and use prosperity and wealth wisely and fruitfully, you should replace the idea of ownership with one of temporary custodianship of something, or having the use of something, of keeping something, of taking care of something. This is what puts you ready to go with the flow without loss and suffering when the time comes for change to work its inevitable ways. So much suffering is caused by resistance to change. Resistance to change shows that a person believes that it is possible to not have a thing, to lose something. Yet on a higher level, on the level of spirit, you have it all at all times. What are you holding yourself back for? You have it all. You can experience any part of yourself that you choose, so long as you choose to and choose believingly. With faith, everything is possible. It is all yours anyway. What are you waiting for? Calmness is the fruit of wisdom acquired over time. Calmness affords true control and precision of thought. Celebrate life. Fear of the unknown is paralyzing, yet totally unnecessary. Only in the unknown can you find growth, freshness, and creation. The known, the past, is already experienced. It is gone. A past moment is a moment gone, lingering only in our memories. Sometimes we keep recreating the past over and over again, sustaining it out of fear of losing it. But new growth, new creation lies only in the unknown. Learn to love and cherish the gift and power of the unknown. Choose this, and you will find yourself traveling on a wonderful journey of exploration and growth. Remember always that yourself knows everything. Nothing is unknown to it. It is only your ego, with its limited vision of space-time, which knows only fractions of the all. Trust your spirit. Yourself can never harm you.
You are yourself, not your body and ego.
All suffering is caused by fear and by believing strongly in the illusions of this world. Let go. The unknown carries tremendous opportunities, knowledge, potential, and rewards. Step into it often. Consistency of purpose, curiosity, confidence, courage, cheer, certainty of intention. This is all good stuff. What are you holding back for? Let go. At every moment and situation, with every thought and action, ask yourself two things. Number one, is this the greatest version of the grandest vision I have ever had of myself? And number two, what would love do? Then adjust your thoughts and actions based on the answers to these two questions. This is a very fast way to growth in all areas of your life. Question everything and rule out nothing. Be willing to suspend everything you know. You cannot discover new things until you stop telling those new things what you think they should be. Let them tell you what they really are. Exercise your body daily. Your body is an energy system and an extension of your mind. Exercising opens up the energy channels in your mind and body. Remember, thought is energy, and your mind is all over your body, in every cell of your body, not just in your brain. Exercising your body every day makes your mind and thoughts a great deal better. Change is the only constant. Love it. Embrace it. Find its gifts that it brings to you. Change. It is the only game there is anyway, the game of life, the game of changes. To the extent that a person has and exercises their wealth consciousness, that person finds themselves in the company of opportunities, businesses, situations, and people that enable her or him to manifest into physical the amount of wealth consciousness they have and choose to exercise. Luck and coincidences have nothing to do with it. What some people call luck and coincidence is the precise execution of an infinitely intelligent universe that works in amazing ways to fulfill exactly what we imagine ourselves to be, believingly. You are your own luck. What is can? What is should? What is the line between can and cannot, should and should not? Is there really such a line? Or do you, we, make it up? You are the magic. Change is the order of the universe. Life is change. Growth and evolution is what life is all about. Clinging on to a thing is not only futile, it is harmful to you. You cannot win a game where you resist change. Now that you know the truth, the laws that drive the universe unfailingly, hold this truth in your thoughts at all times, and you will not be affected by the physical world again. You will become its master instead of its slave. The truth will set you free. Life is all about growth, expansion of consciousness. Life, the source, God, never has it by design or plan that you should not expand your consciousness. In fact, the whole design of life is for consciousness to keep expanding. It is in the whole universe's best interests that you expand your consciousness, including your wealth consciousness. Life seeks to express and experience itself to enable that evolution and growth. Wealth, if you consider it clearly, does a whole lot to enable that growth. Once you have wealth, you have freedom to explore many other aspects of life you would not have had a chance to do without it. The true nature of all life is to increase life. Anything to the contrary of that is a going against life. Your desire for wealth is very natural and necessary for you to move on to higher steps. Not only is it natural, it is fully supported by nature if only you follow the laws of nature. Ancient texts have often said it is the desire of God that you get rich, and nature is friendly to your plans so long as you are in harmony with it. We live in a realm of relativity. Everything else outside of you exists in a most clever way to help you know yourself and recreate yourself anew. It is most clever because that statement is true for each being. Without short people, a tall person would never know that they were tall. Without a bad person, a good person would never know they were so, and vice versa. You need a frame of reference and an opposite to know what you are and to choose what to become next. The day you start seeing everyone and everything as a bringer of a certain gift for you, and you seek to find out what it is, and you realize you are also there for their self-definition's sake, and you willingly give them as they ask, is the day you will start moving very rapidly towards more wealth. Love yourself, your customers, your world, your family, everyone and everything. Love is the strongest power. So, you wish to be wealthy. That is great. But who are you? That is a very deep question. Ask yourself, who am I? Your first answer may be, I am Jane, or I am Joe, or whatever your name is. Then you might say something like, I am a 28-year-old female, Croatian, short-tempered but happy, sometimes doubtful but generally confident, and so on. Really? Is that really you? Each of those things started sometime. Your parents gave you a name. You acquired your habits, personality, and disposition over time. You were born with a few of these things, and you were conceived with none of them. In other words, none of the early things are you. You leave them all here on this plane of existence when you move on to the next plane. So they are not the real you, yourself. They are jackets you wear over yourself. Jackets that you take off as time goes by. People change, and some you take off when you leave the earth. Try this. I am a 28-year-old female. Is yourself really 28 years old only? Could it have been there before you were conceived into this earth? Was it definitely male or female? You do not have to know the answers to these questions for you to get wealthy, but it is important to recognize that, just as we said and saw that you are not your circumstances, you are also not some of the things you have all along thought you were. These jackets are helpful and useful, but sometimes they hold you back. People who identify too much with their jackets, especially the negative ones, place themselves in a prison, a box, a position where they are unable to step outside the box for fearing that their self will be violated, or their self is not capable, while all along it isn't their true self. The next time you catch yourself saying, I can't do that because I am, and so on, re-examine the I am bit and ask yourself whether that is really you or a jacket you picked up along the way, a jacket that you know for sure you will one day take off, a jacket that you might as well take off now. Your body cells change daily. Your thoughts come and go. Your ego and self-image change. They are not the real you. Yourself is the timeless being that takes on all these jackets of illusion, jackets that should serve you, not hinder you, jackets that are really under your self-control, although sometimes or often you forget this. The illusions, the jackets, are very necessary. They are the tools by which your self experiences itself in a physical plane. Think about what you know so far about spirit and quantum physics. All physical objects look separate to our limited five senses, but in fact, they are part of the large pool of energy that is not separated at all. Spirit is also just one, individuated into individual people. It is individuated, not separated. Like the way the oceans of the world are individuated into waters with different depths and tides and characteristics, yet they are all one ocean. All your spirit knows is love, for it cannot kill or injure itself. It is immortal. It is also all one. It also cannot go broke, for it has everything, pure wealth and abundance. Why is it necessary for spirit to have an earthly existence then? Imagine that you were born in a very rich land where everyone was super wealthy, no one lacked anything, and all desires were fulfilled instantly. How would you ever experience the thrill of having wealth? It would be impossible. You would know you were wealthy, but this would be meaningless because you have never compared it with being poor and have never risen out of poverty and become wealthy. See? You would need to first become broke in this super wealthy land, then appreciate how uncomfortable that felt, then work your way back to wealth and feel the thrill and experience of wealth. You cannot experience something, even if you know it, unless you create the experience of its opposite. This is the position spirit is in. It knows all but cannot experience it unless it creates a realm of illusion of not knowing and not having. Let us go back to our example. If everything in that super wealthy land were wealth, you would be unable to get poor. So you would have to create an illusion where you see only extremely small segments of your whole world at a time. Instead of seeing that you have a car, a road, house, and a shopping mall all at one go, you would only see the car. The illusion would limit your vision so that you can only see the car at first. Then after working, you start seeing the house, and so on. Then when you see it all, you feel the thrill, the experience of what you already know and have but could not experience. This is the purpose of the earthly physical experience. Another way to look at it is to think of something you really like. Think of your favorite food or even having great sex with your loved one. If you ate your favorite food all the time, at every moment of your waking and sleeping, or if you did the same with sex, do you see how the experience would cease to be an experience and become a knowing without experience? For it would be all that is. Your entire eating experience would be comprised of eating that one favorite food, and you would finally know no other eating experience, and the favorite food would cease to thrill. This is a very simple example. It gets very complicated at the highest spirit level, but at least you get the picture. Still not convinced? Okay, here's another example. The experiencing of love. Spirit is immortal and at one with all. It only knows love but cannot experience it because there is nothing to experience it against. At the ultimate level of spirit, all that exists is one, and the one knows that it is all one. It has no illusions of separation. This is what some people call God. Let us think of it as being, life, or the source, the all that is, the I am. All that is, life, being, is exactly that, all. It is not a he or she or it. It is all. There is nothing else except the one, so there is nothing the one can use to experience itself against, unless it individuates itself. The individuation and illusions start at lower levels. It is necessary to create a limited consciousness physical plane where the illusions of separation exists, and it is possible to kill a body and hurt and so on. And in this physical plane, where it is possible to act in unloving ways and do harm, love rises, and its fruits and the experience of love is then possible. Now you see that the illusion is very necessary. You, yourself, needs it and uses it. The only problem comes in when your ego makes you believe in the illusion. The ego was designed to create the illusion of separation. It is necessary. But when the illusion is taken as the reality, it no longer becomes a tool with which you can experience the greatness of your spirit and all that it has. It instead becomes a painful trap. You stop pretending that you do not have wealth and then experience the thrill of having wealth, and instead start believing that you really do not have wealth. You stop pretending that you are separate and at risk and start believing that you are. This is the cause of much suffering. Learn to use the illusion instead of believing in it.
This is what Jesus meant when he said, "Be of this world, but not of it." Simply being aware of who you really are will change your life amazingly to the positive. You are spirit with a body, personality, and ego. You are not a body, personality, and ego with a spirit. Definitely, most importantly, have joy in your life. Lighten up. Do not take things so seriously. Do not be too hard on yourself and others, and let joy into the lives of people. Joy is natural. It is the soul expressing itself. It keeps the energy circulating and makes the whole ride worth it. Joy multiplies everything. It attracts, and it is fun. Enjoy. Decide at all times to not worry, to not get frustrated, to not wish you were somewhere else doing something else, and to not fear. All these are statements of not having, and they perpetuate the state of not having. Before you do anything, always ask yourself, is this who I am? Is this who I wish to define myself into a higher next? It is all inside of you. For everything you see around you, you are at cause. Why then would you hate something around you now? If you don't wish to have it around you anymore, ask yourself what part or aspect of yourself is causing it, and you will soon discover something about yourself that you would find beneficial to change. Nothing happens around you that you are not wholly or partly a cause of at some level of your whole self, even though you may not be conscious of the choices you are making that are causing your world. Condemnation and judgment keep in place that which is condemned and judged. You are not your past, any of it at all, unless you insist you are. Your soul is the part of you closest to the source of all that is. It is an individuation of the source, in the image and likeness of the source. Your soul knows and perceives a lot more than your physical body and mind does. Your soul communicates with your mind through your body using feelings and intuition. Listen to your feelings and intuition always if you wish to speed up your growth and reduce unnecessary setbacks and suffering. You are a soul with a body, not a body with a soul. You are a soul with a body, a mind, a personality, and an ego. Knowing this and knowing what a soul is makes a huge and empowering difference in the acquisition of wealth. Meditation places you in direct contact with the unified field of consciousness, the unified mind, and infinite intelligence. Through meditation, a completely new world will open up to you. Through meditation, you will find calmness, wisdom, and inspiration. It is yet another way towards wealth and many other things. It is the home of infinite wealth consciousness, and you are welcome to it any time. Inspiration and desire come from the soul, seeking expression and manifestation into the physical world. One fast track to get to where you are going is to pay attention to your desires and inspirations. Develop your intuition. Mind, body, and spirit are all connected. One way to think of it is to see the mind as the subtlest part of the body, and the body as the most solid part of the mind. By living in this knowledge, by treating mind, body, and spirit with equal importance, care, and attention, you grow fastest and get wealthy fastest. The root of a bulb which shall produce a white lily is an unsightly thing. One might look upon it with disgust. But how foolish we should be to condemn the bulb for its appearance when we know the lily is within it. The root is perfect after its kind. It is a perfect but incomplete lily. So we must learn to look upon every man and woman, no matter how unlovely in outward manifestation, they are perfect in their stage of being, and they are becoming complete. Behold, it is all very good. It will make an immense difference with your faith and spirit, whether you look upon civilization as a good thing which is becoming better, or as a bad and evil thing which is decaying. One viewpoint gives you an advancing and expanding mind, and the other gives you a descending and decreasing mind. One viewpoint will make you grow greater, and the other will inevitably cause you to grow smaller. One will enable you to work for the eternal things, to do large works in a great way toward the completing of all that is incomplete and inharmonious, and the other will make you a mere patchwork reformer, working almost without hope to save a few lost souls from what you will grow to consider a lost and doomed world. So you see, it makes a vast difference to you, this matter of the social viewpoint. All's right with the world. Nothing can possibly be wrong but my personal attitude, and I will make that right. I will see the facts of nature
and all the events, circumstances, and conditions of society, politics, government, and industry from the highest viewpoint. It is all perfect, though incomplete. It is all the handiwork of God. Behold, it is all very good. James Allen. How do you start doing all these things? Just start doing them. Now. It is that simple. Just do it. Now. Your truth is always truest to you. Truth is personal and ever-changing. Even though you should surround yourself with experts, advisors, and good books, always follow what rings true to you. Do not follow external sources blindly. Check them with yourself. The source always talks to all of us through all forms of internal and external communication. Always in all ways. It is us who shut out that communication. Start paying attention to the movies you watch, the TV shows you see, the magazines you read, the people you talk to, the events of life that you watch, and the intuition you have. All these and many more carry messages for your advancement, messages from the source. Simply be open and willing. Act as if you are already wealthy, for you are. There are no real limits other than those you set on yourself. Become unstoppable by refusing to stop. It's a little like wrestling a gorilla. You don't quit when you're tired. You quit when the gorilla is tired. Robert Strauss. You have more potential in you than you can possibly use up in an entire lifetime or even in several lifetimes. Stop making up excuses and believing in limits. By our inherent nature, we have limitless potential and abilities. I can't does not exist. It is an illusion. Nothing outside of yourself can hold you back. What is holding you back then? Your soul is that part of you that is closest to God, the source. Your soul speaks to your mind through feelings and intuition. Listen to your feelings and intuition. Honor them over any conflicting thoughts and emotions. Be careful, though, because some thought and emotions camouflage themselves as feelings. But be still, and you can distinguish between them. The desires that you suppress become depressions, and that leads to even worse. It can sometimes lead to unhealthy ways to fulfill those suppressed desires. Express your desires, and you create life and joy. Persist in following your feelings and intuition. They are your closest communications with the source. You are a soul with a body, not a body with a soul. See this clearly and live your life at all times with this in mind, and your power increases. I am. This is your new way of making statements. I am. The universe absolutely listens to whatever you place after the phrase I am. You need nothing outside of yourself to be wealthy. Freedom. It is your nature. Keep it and express it. Allow others to keep and express their freedom. Stop choosing what has been chosen for you by others and start choosing your own. Meditate every day, even for just 15 minutes twice a day. This connects you with the source, lets you know your true nature, brings inspiration, and shows you the ultimate reality. You are who you say you are. Experiences are within you, not outside. For example, two people can take the same roller coaster ride in an amusement park. One walks out of that ride very happy and thrilled, and the effects of that over a lifetime are positive, for everything is a cause of something else. The other person may walk out of that same ride full of fear and shock, and the effects of that over a lifetime are negative. See, the same ride was experienced in two very different ways by two people. No experience exists outside of the person experiencing. Even what you would consider a terrible event is joyous to someone somewhere. The point is, choose to experience things positively, and your life will be positive. The meaning of everything is the meaning you give it, and your experiences are what you say they are. The next time a situation comes up, see it as the illusion it is. Decide the experience that you will have of it, then recreate yourself anew so that the illusion changes to your liking. This is so for financial situations and all other situations in life. A healthy person is usually in a better position to create wealth. Health is an indication of agreement between your body, mind, and spirit. Lack of health is caused by a disagreement between these three. For example, a mind with negative thoughts and anger causes an unhealthy body. A body that is not rested, nourished, exercised, and kept free of toxins kills the mind. Listen to, notice, and honor what signs your body, mind, and spirit give you. A daily combination of exercise and meditation raises your energy levels and positive emotions, leaving you in an extremely powerful position to create wealth and growth. Remember, I am. The universe, the source, manifests to perfection all your I am statements and states of being made with certainty. The only time there is in the universe is now, the present time. I am works and is in agreement with the ever-present time of now by being in present tense. I will be barely makes it. Freedom. Maintain yours and allow others theirs. Do not take life too seriously. Enjoy it. Play with it like a child. Laugh at every corner. Joy is your true nature, and aligning with your true nature boosts your acquisition of wealth. Rest and eat properly. Recharge your mind and body's energy system. You become more conscious of your unconscious aspects by raising your awareness. You do this by deciding to be aware of all your thoughts and actions, watchful and guiding of them. You enhance this greatly by meditation, a good one being the Vipassana, insight, mindfulness meditation technique. Here is an amazing truth. As you enrich your inner self with enlightenments, your outer self will grow correspondingly richer, yet you will become more and more indifferent to riches, and riches will let go of their obsessive hold on you. You will finally become a naturally and automatically wealthy person with the carefree abandon of a child, and you will enjoy freely. Desires indicate to you things that you have a built-in ability for. You may never have piloted an airplane before, but if you have a desire to do so, it shows you that yourself has the ability and nature to be able to learn to pilot a plane. In truth, yourself knows all there is to know, but a desire shows you that you, at the higher level of your soul, are fully supporting that desire to pilot planes, and the whole universe will be there to assist in it manifesting. It is advisable for a person to follow their desires in business as well. This way, you will have proof that you will be able to do what you desire, and you will enjoy it. Desires also indicate to you which parts of yourself that are calling out for attention and evolution, growth, or working out to perfection. Desires are signals from the self. Let us revisit time. You know what time is. It is an illusion created by the way your consciousness sees small portions of the whole space-time continuum at a go. Remember the example of the football field in the chapter on time. You saw that an object on the field sees events taking time as it moves across the field from one event to the other, but the field itself sees all events as being on it simultaneously. For the field, there is no time, only an ever-present moment of now whereby all events, all objects on the field, are taking place at the same time. In that example, your consciousness is the object on the field. So, what is the field? It is your spirit or soul. You may have imagined that your spirit is the same size as your consciousness, but in fact, it is much larger than that. It covers all aspects of your life, even those that you are not awake to, not conscious of. It is right now in your past and future, but you are only awake to the part of it in your present. Your spirit is eternal, and its presence is timeless, but your consciousness is not. It is multidimensional, while your consciousness is usually four-dimensional. The point here is this. Your spirit communicates to you through intuition and feelings. It knows your future, all possible combinations of it, but it needs your consciousness to experience what it knows. In fact, it knows everything, but it needs consciousness in a physical plane to experience what it knows conceptually. Your self knows exactly what